Welcome back. All right, so two games are done. There's first intermission between Buffalo and Pittsburgh. The board for that is behind this board. So, yeah, because we've got the games nicely spread out today. This way I get the reviews done relatively early. Means it's not a really long review to finish the night. I like it better this way. So, um, let's go ahead and jump right in. Usually when it's the big magnets, I'm not necessarily worried about timestamps, but here we go. Calgary and Ottawa. So, again, this is the problem for the Flames now. So they've got Daryl Sutter, who's helped their defense. Their defense is good. Their defense is good. Their goaltending numbers are getting better. And they really can't score. They've gone from a team that's kind of middle of the road to they just can't score. So first period is Markstrom versus Gustafsson. I think Gustafsson's earned himself a shot at the backup job when Murray's healthy, or Murray's job when Murray's healthy. I don't know. First appearance for Formenton in a game in 814 days. And he was good, doesn't get on the board, played relatively well. The shots were 1-1 3 minutes in. It was kind of a feeling out start for the game, which is, again, understandable. A few whistles in the first half. It was a fast game. And then there was a near Flames goal at 7:45. They push heavily at 8 minutes. But Gustafsson standing his ground. Now, whether this is Gustafsson being really good or teams not having a book on him yet, we'll find out. First power play goes to the Flames. That was killed off. The power plays today were not really prominent other than there's 3 each. I'll be tracking that for the rest of the season now. Post then for Mangiapane after that power play's killed off. Heavy Flames press with 4 minutes left. Dadonov had a break. The Sens then get a late power play, but we go to the second period still scoreless. There was a delay in that second period due to some broken glass, so they had to replace a pane of glass. It makes it take a little longer. Otherwise, this game would have been done in record time. Early shots favored the Sens. The Flames then pressed at 6.5 minutes, but the Sens were doing their best to block them out. So when they would get this pressure, not a lot of shots from prime opportunities in the front. So while Sutter's got them playing well defensively, he's got to get them those shots in front of the net. Johnny Gaudreau has to be willing to go more to the dirty areas than I think he has so far this year. Markstrom, though, was playing well. Then there's a post for Batherson, so both teams with posts at that stage. The Sens press, they get a power play at the halfway mark, but it was a strong penalty kill for the Flames that answered it. And then Giordano, after that's over, gets a goal from Monahan and Dubé at 13:27. So Mark Giordano's on the board, and the Flames lead 1-0. Gustafsson making saves to keep it 1-0. Zaitsev then takes a penalty with 1 minute and 4 seconds left in the second period. But we come out of the second period with the Flames in the lead. And the Flames are very good at protecting leads in the third. The Senators, not great at coming back in the third period. So really, on the surface, it looks like Calgary should probably win this game. Third period, the shots were 4-1 for the Flames at 4 minutes. And then Norris would score from Dadonov at 4 minutes and 48 seconds. So that ties it up. And then it just felt like the Senators got some confidence out of that. It was a tie game. There was a home run pass attempt to Dzingel that just missed. Dzingel, of course, would have been looking for his 6th goal in 10 games back in Ottawa. The Senators pressed at 8.5 minutes. The Flames cleared it out. And honestly, this game to this stage kind of felt like an Islanders game. Very fast, not a lot of whistles, and just a very relatively clean game considering how much these teams have played against each other. The Senators press, the Flames were unable to clear. In fact, they couldn't get, their forward line was on the ice for almost 2 full minutes. The Senators hemmed them in, and then Tierney scores from Chabot and Riley at 12:01. Hanifin, at that point, had been on the ice for 3 minutes and 12 seconds. Not a recipe for success. And it had been about 13 minutes without a shot as well. They would get their share of shots later, but again, over half a period without a shot there. With 2 minutes and 40 seconds left, Nesterov takes a penalty, and I felt like that probably ended it right there. And it was just, what are you doing? Just you're sticking a guy in the face. The referee's right there. Why are you doing that? Markstrom denied Stützle, and then when 1 minute and 30 seconds left, Brady Tkachuk is given a penalty to make it 4-on-4. So that allows for a goalie pull. And then Zaitsev hits the empty net. His first goal in 56 games from Zub and Paul at 1844. They pull the goalie again to go up 6-on-4. But no, this was the first loss the Flames have had when they've been leading after 2. So they lose it 3-1. They drop to 15, 16, and 3. Somewhere the Canucks are saying, thanks, Ottawa. Ottawa's 12, 20, and 3, and they're probably looking at their record right now and saying, you know what? We're not out of this. Montreal's shut down right now. We don't know how they're going to play when they come out of that. Vancouver, a lot of injuries there, some uneven play. Sure, the record over their last 10 has been really good, but can they sustain it? And Calgary just can't get a run going. So for Ottawa, they may be looking at the standings right now and saying, hey, we are not out of this. We've got a shot. The shots in this game were 11-10 Ottawa in the first, 11-7 Calgary in the second, 13-8 Ottawa in the third. Final shots 31-29 Ottawa. Both teams went 0 for 3 on the power play. Hits 35-26 for Ottawa. Blocks, the block shots 20-9 for Ottawa. Markstrom saves 28 out of 30. Gustafsson saves 28 out of 29. His save percentage is ridiculous. And your 3 stars are Gustafsson, Tierney, and Giordano. And I thought the Giordano star was kind of nice. I was like, oh, that's nice that they gave it to a Calgary Flame. I might have leaned toward Markstrom, but that's nice. But you would have been right to give all 3 stars to Ottawa for the way they played that third period. All right, next up. Anaheim in against Minnesota. And again, using the fun logos because why not? I do like using the fun logos and having reviews this way. And during the playoffs, that's all you're going to see. Parisi was in protocol, and they announced this shortly before the game. So Cramarosa was brought up from the taxi squad, and he's thrown into the lineup. There were no shots 4 minutes into this game. It was a very fast game as well, just like this one. Like they have somewhere to go, or they're renting the ice by the hour, and they got to get it done. It was Talbot versus Miller. The Wild would be the first one to test one of the goalies at 4 minutes and 10 seconds. So, right? The Ducks had their first chance around the 5-minute mark. So both teams kind of get into it a little bit late here. Silverberg had a chance that was stopped. The game was opening up, and then Jared Spurgeon, he scores from Suter, and the other assist goes to and Kaprizov. See, I should know this because, but yeah, it's Spurgeon from Suter and Kaprizov. Kaprizov had the secondary assist. But that lead doesn't last. At 8 minutes and 10 seconds, Derek Grant gets one from Manson and Getzlaf. That went in off Suter's skate. They all count. And again, that was kind of a surprise because Minnesota came into today with 9 wins in a row at home, looking for 10. And Ottawa here, and I'm here. Also, much like Ottawa, they have sort of this trap game environment to them, right? Like, you might take them easy. Calgary really shouldn't with Ottawa because they keep losing to them. But in the case of Minnesota, it would make sense if they took their foot off the gas a little bit because they haven't had much trouble with Anaheim so far this year. So Cramarosa then had a fight with Jones. And then almost immediately after that, Getzlaf had one with Soucy. I don't think that qualified as an actual fight. I don't know if they both got 5 minutes. But yeah, this was a game between two teams that really didn't like each other. Wild then get a power play out of that. They don't score on that first one, but then they get a late power play as well, and they score on it. I know, I'm as surprised as anybody else. Spurgeon gets that power play goal from Suter and Rask at 1952, so I didn't give him 2 points on the same goal on that one. So, there you go. It's 2-1 Minnesota after one. Second period, not even, the ice is still drying, and Comtois scores from Lundestrom at 22 seconds. So, that good first period by Minnesota kind of feels like it goes by the wayside a little bit. And those are 2 goals in 30 seconds of game time. But to Minnesota's credit, they don't panic on that, right? The Wild got a power play. Miller stopped a good chance for Fiala. And then there's a shorthanded chance for Silverberg. But that power play is killed off. And then Sturm. He gets a goal, and they gave Bjugstad the assist on that. Let me just double check and see if they left Bjugstad with an assist. They did, and they gave one to Soucy as well. The reason I say that is because it was 7:01 and the puck crosses the line. But it was a dump in from center ice. All Miller has to do is cover it. That's it. And that's what he's trying to do. And he missed the puck. And Sturm puts it in the net. That's going to be on highlight reels for all the wrong reasons. Unless you're a Wild fan, and that's great. But yeah, Sturm. He gets the goal there. And when you look at the score, it's bad news because that's the winner. And Miller likely kicking himself after that one. Then in the last minute, Steele fired one that went wide, but we go to the third period. It's 3-2 Minnesota. Pretty entertaining third period. The Wild 11-0-1 when they're leading entering the third period. Minnesota presses at 4 minutes. The Ducks were doing a good job of shot blocking, of keeping them out. The Ducks had a 2-on-1. Talbot denies Jones. The Wild, some turnovers being bailed out by Talbot, so you got to watch those turnovers. And then the referee, during a scrum, it sounded to me like he yelled, "Greenway, settle down." So, he decided, Greenway, knock it off, kind of thing. And he did. To Greenway's credit, he skated away. Johansson then had a chance on a turnover that was kicked aside. Ducks nearly tied it with 9 minutes and 30 seconds left. Zegras was very prominent during this. So was Drysdale. They're giving them the opportunities to learn on the job and to learn in key situations, and I think that's great. Manson had a chance that was saved as the game was opening up. The Ducks pressed with 2.5 minutes left. Then there was icing by the Wild with 2 minutes and 11 seconds left. So, at 2:07 left in the game, the Ducks call a timeout. The goaltender gets pulled. And there was a post for Comtois. So Comtois almost got his second goal of the game. A big save for Talbot. They iced it with 4.9 seconds left. There was a scrum that broke out with 1.1 second left. The Ducks came out of that scrum with a power play for 1.1 second. So they ended up 0 for 1 today, but it was only 1.1 second of power play time. All counts. And the Wild hold on. They win 3-2. They go to 20, 10, and 1. The Ducks drop to 9, 19, and 6. That's 10 wins in a row at home for the Minnesota Wild. The shots, 11 apiece in the first, 9-7 Minnesota in the second, 12-6 Anaheim in the third. Final shots, 30-26 for the Ducks. Power plays, as I said, Anaheim technically 0 for 1 with the 1 second power play. Minnesota 1 for 3. Hits, 16-11 for Anaheim. Block shots, 13-9 for Minnesota. Miller, 23 saves on 26 shots. And for Talbot, 28 saves on 30 shots. Your 3 stars, Spurgeon, Suter, and Talbot. Unlike this game, they didn't decide the third star had to go for the team that didn't win the game. So, not too shabby. Minnesota, they keep pace with the teams ahead of them in the division. And for Anaheim, it's funny because I know there's fans that get mad that Anaheim loses. I've seen it on their Facebook page and their Twitter feed. Because I follow all the team pages, and I'm thinking, I don't know what the fans wanted. The effort's there. The young players are there. The future looks bright for Anaheim. I don't know. I think it's enjoyable. But again, we'll see. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below regarding these games. And yes, I will be doing a review for the Buffalo-Pittsburgh game all on its own. And then I'll be reviewing the Vancouver-Winnipeg and San Jose-LA games on their own as well. Thank you guys so much for all your support. And do not forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video.